Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. A little quick video today. I just want to talk about Moise Kean. It has been confirmed that Everton striker Moise Kean has signed for PSG on a season-long loan and he will spend the remainder of the 2020-2021 season over in Paris playing in Ligue 1. Now this has been rumoured for quite some time now that Moise Kean would leave Everton. PSG only just come into the conversation actually, literally less than 24 hours ago. Of course there was very strong rumours that he could go back to Italy and go back to Juventus to play the remainder of the season there. There was rumours about him going to Napoli as well. PSG weren't really in the conversation until about 24 hours ago when a lot of reliable sources, a lot of reliable journalists, Fabrizio Romano and The Telegraph, a lot of different sources claimed that PSG were interested in the player and they were interested in bringing him in on a loan deal. Fabrizio Romano had it confirmed today that he would sign for PSG on loan, however there will be no option to buy in that contract, and Everton and PSG both confirmed it today that the player will spend the remainder of the season in Paris. Now I just wanted to sit down and talk about it really, not so much announce the signing because we all know it's happened, but just talk about the impact that Moise Kean's Moise Kean joining PSG has on Everton Football Club, because obviously it leaves Everton in a situation now where ideally we need to go out and bring in another striker. Now of course we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin who is firing on all cylinders. We've got Richarlison who can also play directly up front as a striker. You've got players in the under-23s, the likes of Ella Sims who are doing well. But when you look at Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and when you think if one of those picks up a knock or one of those for whatever reason has to have a period of time out of the team, we haven't really got a striker then that steps up to fit in really. We haven't got a striker who steps in to be that backup, and that's what Moise Kean ultimately was, and I think that was a big part of the reason as to why Moise Kean has left Everton Football Club this summer on a loan deal. Now Carlo Ancelotti spoke about the player in Friday's press conference before the game against Brighton and said he wants him to stay at the football club. He thinks he's got a big future at the football club. He said that the club invested heavily in him last summer, and he as far as Carlo Ancelotti's concerned, he wants him to keep working hard and he wants him to be a part of his plans. Now I've said for a couple of weeks I was always 50-50 on whether Moise Kean would be an Everton player after this transfer window, because I just think the player and his agent wanted the move, and I understand it from all parties involved. I understand it from Moise Kean. He's a young player who wants to be getting game time, who wants to be involved. He's a striker, a natural out-and-out striker. He's wanting to be playing, he's wanting to be scoring goals, and he wasn't playing for Everton, he wasn't getting in the team, so I understand why he'd want to go elsewhere and join a team where he'd be playing pretty much week in, week out and getting involved in the goals and building his confidence back up and furthering in his career. I understand from an Everton point of view, they're looking at this situation going, well, okay, we really want you at the football club, we want you to keep working hard and we want you to get your head down, but let's be honest, you're not getting in over Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dom's in absolutely unbelievable form so far this season, highest goal scorer in the Premier League, 9 goals in 6 games that Dominic Calvert-Lewin has played, 6 in the Premier League. He's on absolutely unbelievable form. He's been outstanding. So I understand from Everton's point of view in saying to Moise Kean, well look, we want you to work hard, we want you to get your head down, we want to give you the opportunities, but when we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin firing on all cylinders, it's very difficult to do that. So the deal in a lot of ways, it sort of makes sense. However, it leaves Everton in a situation now where we do actively have to go out and bring in another striker. The transfer window ends tomorrow, it's deadline day tomorrow, and again, it's going to be very difficult for Everton to go out and bring somebody in without being absolutely stung and bring a player in who has to accept the fact that he is going to be second best. We've spoke about this a load of times whenever we speak about transfers and whenever we speak about bringing players in as a replacement. For example, we spoke about it when we were heavily linked with Regulo, the left back who's just joined Spurs, and why he would want to come and join Everton only to be understudy to Lucas Digne. We're now facing that situation with a striker who we're going to be bringing somebody in, and of course we'll put it to them as you can compete with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can potentially get in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but the reality of the situation is whoever comes into Everton Football Club as a striker is going to understand that they are second to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, certainly whilst he's in this form. So it's going to be really difficult to bring anybody in. Now of course we've had Milik from Napoli rumoured, we've had Llorente from Napoli massively rumoured as well. Both players played under Carlo Ancelotti, but it leaves us in a situation where we're now less than 24 hours, I think, or a little bit more than 24 hours away from the transfer window slamming shut. In terms of for European clubs, I think we can still do deals domestically for about a week or so. I'm not too sure how that works, but basically our horizons will be massively narrowed within the next 24 hours in regards to bringing in a striker as a replacement for Moise Kean, because it's all good sitting here saying Moise Kean doesn't play every week. Moise Kean doesn't really get involved. He doesn't really start. But he, in sending him out on loan, in PSG bringing him in on loan, it means that we're now one player down, and he is a player that is a first team player. It's not like a Balassi who is already being told he hasn't got a future at the football club. It's not like a Besic. It's not like a young Ellis Sims who isn't really around the first team anyway. It's a player that, okay, mightn't be starting week in, week out, but he's certainly on the bench. He's certainly getting involved if he needs to get involved. And ultimately, we're going to have to go out and replace him. Now, listen, for me, I just don't think Moise Kean was happy. And again, like I said before, I understand that. I understand he wants to be playing week in, week out, and I understand Carlo Ancelotti's point of view in saying you're not good enough, or you're not in as good a form as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And let's be perfectly honest, I like Moise Kean. I think he's a really, really good player. I think he's a natural striker, a natural goal scorer. I think he's got a lot of raw talent. But at the moment, he's not as good as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And he is never getting in that Everton team while Dominic Calvert-Lewin's fit. Even if Dom isn't on fantastic goal scoring form, even if Dom isn't scoring once, twice every single week, even if Dom's having a patch of 3 or 4 games without a goal, you're still probably putting Dominic Calvert-Lewin in over Moise Kean because he just brings more to the team. He's more physical. His touch is better than Moise Kean's. He gets other people involved in the games. He's a nuisance to deal with from the defenders. Moise Kean hasn't really got any of that. Yes, he's a good natural finisher, but we've seen him against Salford when he started that game, and he just didn't really look fantastic. His touch was off. He should have realistically ran absolute rings around Salford City's defence, and he didn't. He struggled to do it, and there was a lot of discussion going around as to whether or not he was happy, whether or not he wanted to leave, whether or not he wanted to stay. Of course, he's gone out on loan with no option to buy, which I think is an interesting one. I think if it was up to the player, I can't say I'm 100% confident that he wants to stay at Everton Football Club. I think if it was up to him, he'd probably have left on a permanent deal. But I think Carlo Ancelotti and Everton Football Club are being quite clever with this and saying, right, okay, you can go out, but you're going out on loan, and you're going out on loan with the assumption that you're going to play consistently, and then you can come back and you can fight your way into this Everton team. I do think Moise Kean's got a good relationship with Carlo Ancelotti. I think Carlo Ancelotti wants him as part of the plans, but ultimately this season it just obviously didn't work, and Carlo Ancelotti's plans and Moise Kean's plans just didn't correlate together. They just didn't work, and look, that's understandable because, again, like I said, Moise Kean's a player that's wanting to play week in, week out. He's young, he's hungry, he's wanting to score goals. Am I convinced that he plays week in, week out in that PSG team? I'm not, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he's left a club who he's going to struggle to get into the side because they've got very, very good players going up front, to join a club where he's going to struggle to get in the side because they've got very, very good players going up front. They've got the likes of Mbappe, they've got the likes of Neymar, and I know that they don't play really as the natural number 9 and the centre striker. I think either of those play on the wing, and there's probably a little bit of room for Moise Kean in there. But for me, I think Moise Kean performs better in a side where he's in a 2, where he's got a player next to him, where he's got a striker next to him, and that would mean PSG completely changing their whole system and their whole team around, to suit Moise Kean. And of course, that's a system and a side that's won them consecutive League One titles for however many years. So again, does that move work for the player? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how much game time he gets. But I just wanted to sit down and have a little conversation about it because I think it's really, really interesting. Of course, we'll be talking about all of the latest Everton breaking transfer news as and when it comes in tomorrow regarding Ben Godfrey. Hopefully, we'll see him announced within the next 24 hours, and any other news, incomings or outgoings that go on, we'll be having a little conversation about them. But I'll be really, really interested to know your thoughts on Moise Kean and the situation, and his signing, of course, to PSG. I'd really, I'd like to know what you think about that. For me, again, I think it was probably incoming even after Carlo Ancelotti spoke heavily. I think it was clear the player wanted to move and wanted to go out and play somewhere else. And okay, it's a loan deal and there's no option to buy. But it is disappointing. I'd have liked Moise Kean to have got his head down and worked hard and tried to force his way into the team. But, obviously he wanted to go and play elsewhere. And again, we'll just have to put up with that, won't we? I suppose Everton have now got to be in the market over the next 24 hours for a striker to come in and replace Moise Kean. Who will that be? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comment section down below. Then if you have enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. Massive thank you for all of the support on the recent videos. The instant match reaction, the play ratings from yesterday absolutely smashed it. So big thanks for all of the support on them. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Loads more content coming over the next few weeks and months. Moise Kean might have left the football club, but Everton are flying at the top of the league. And what more can you say? It's a brilliant time to be a Blue. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've spoken about in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. Really do appreciate all of the support. We'll see you tomorrow for the live game review to the Brighton win. Really excited for that one. Big thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.